Hi everyone, my name is Adriana Martinez and I'm going to be your teaching artist for today. And the name of the lesson for today is Lúdica, which in Spanish means learn through play. And I think art is the best way to learn through play, especially my kind of art, which is drawing and painting, as you can kind of see from the background, those are my pieces. Those are my paintings and drawings. And I'm very, very happy to be here with you. I'm going to invite you right now to pause the video and get all the supply that you need before I explain what today's exercise will be. So what you will need is a piece of paper. You're gonna need a pencil, any kind of pencil, an eraser, any kind of eraser, and colors. Could be crayons, it could be markers, it could be watercolors, a palette. So you can mix colors, and you can use a disposable dish or any other kind of container. And I would suggest that nothing bigger than this size. So you can see my hand maybe. So maybe nothing more than 10 inches or 12 inches. And nothing too small. You don't want something too small either, because then it becomes more difficult. So you can pause your video right now and get everything that you need. Remember, if you're going to use watercolor, also go get a little container where you can put your water. 3 brushes, different sizes. Doesn't matter what kind of brush they are. That's a medium size, and then a very thin one. The lesson here is going to be both with words in Spanish, which I'm going to explain, not too many words, very few words, and images, drawings, and painting. And painting can be also coloring, okay? So I have my notes here so I don't forget all the important things I need to tell you guys. So a lot of you might speak Spanish or know some words. If you're not fluent, that's perfectly fine. You do not need to be a Spanish speaker. If you speak another language, well, it's going to be even more fun for you. So we're going to basically play with some words, and I'll invite you to draw and paint images that come to mind. So we are going to start out with a very easy warm-up, which is breathing. It's my favorite, because sometimes when we get super excited or nervous, our breath becomes kind of shallow, and that makes us tense up. And guess what? That stops the flow of creativity, which we do not want. We want more flow, like a faucet with water, because when we're more creative, we have more fun. So we're going to inhale through our nose and exhale through our mouth. And as we inhale, we're going to pretend like our belly is a balloon. We're going to inflate the balloon. And then we're going to deflate it very slowly through our mouth. So we're going to start. We're going to do 3 deep breaths. 1, 2, 3. 1. 2. You can raise your shoulders if you want. And then 3. Our second warm-up is going to be with our hands. Super easy. So we're going to rub our hands really quick. And then we are going to pretend like we're holding an invisible ball. Do you feel anything on the fingertips? I usually feel tingling. Some of my students get super excited and they start doing this and like creating bigger balls and then smaller balls. And then you can put it on your face without touching. And then maybe your chest or your throat. Do you feel anything? If you don't, that's fine. This is just to get our energy moving. Okay, guys. So this is going to be a very fun class. You've got all your material. You know who I am. Who is that? My name is Adriana. And you got your colors, you got your drawings. And I want you to, if you already know a word, if you know some words in Spanish, you can sketch them really quick. If you don't, that's fine. It's just to get you warmed up. And we are going to start with one simple word, which is luna. What does that mean? So luna means moon. And I want you to create a really, really, really quick, easy sketch about, or how would you represent the moon, okay? So this should take you 5 minutes. So you can pause the video here and quickly sketch it. Okay, guys. So if you unpause the video, it's because you're done with your sketch, and I bet it's a really fun one. Good. So, why is speaking another language good? That's your first question for today. For me, it's because it is so much fun to talk to other people and learn from others when they have different opinions, different ideas. Maybe they come from a different part of the world. So even if I'm fluent in Spanish, they might come from a country that I've never been to. And it is very nice to share. Also, it's really good for your brain. It's good for your emotions too. You realize how many things we all have in common. So that's why I'm very excited to teach this class today. So I'm going to start out by reading a short story. And it's not going to be the whole story. It's going to be 4 pages from the story. You're not going to get the whole book. But I'm gonna read these four pages because they have illustrations, which are images, and they have words, both in English and in Spanish, and it serves as an example, and maybe it'll give you ideas of what you can do. So number 1, when you're hearing me read these 4 pages from the story, I want you to have your pencil ready so you can write down the word in Spanish, which I will spell out for you. And then down below that word in Spanish, you're going to write what it means in English. And then we'll do our exercise. Okay, ready, guys? Okay. So this is a book that I wrote, and it's called El Ratoncito, the Mexican mouse who became a fairy for a night. It's kind of silly, but it's a little fun story. So some of you are familiar with the little mouse. Ratoncito means little mouse. And instead of the tooth fairy, we have a mouse. It's kind of scary, I guess, or kind of gross if you're not familiar with it. But it's a friendly mouse that comes and gets your tooth when it comes out. And you give the tooth, and the mouse takes the tooth and leaves some coins. So that's what the story is based on, but with my own twist. So I'll let you look at the image first. This is done with watercolor. And I try to make it super loose. So it's a boy sleeping, and you can see a stack of books there, huh? Okay, guys. So it begins with magic and love, with hope and wonder. Hundreds of years ago, when girls and boys would lose their first tooth, a magical mouse would appear. He would leave a present in place of the tooth. Unknown good spirits gave El Ratoncito, I'm going to stop here because I want you to write down the word. So El is the, so I'm going to spell it out for you. E-L, it's one word, E-L. Ratoncito is the second word that goes together. And I'm going to spell it out for you right now. It's RATONCITO. I'm going to say it again. EL, first word. Second, RATONCITO. El ratoncito. Underneath, and you can say it with me, el ratoncito. Underneath, you can write the little mouse. That's the translation in English. So we're going to pick up where we left off. Unknown good spirits gave el ratoncito the power to be like no other mouse. No one knows how old el ratoncito is or where he came from. What we do know is that he has been around for at least 200 years, and his first language was Español. Español, that's your second word. So pause what you're doing. We'll pause on the story, and you're going to write it down. So it's Español, and I'm going to spell it out for you. ESPANOL. I'm going to repeat it. ESPANOL. So right above the N, you're going to draw a little wave, which makes it into a new letter, which in Spanish is called ñ. So it's N with a little wave. Let's see if we can find it here. It's right here. So you're going to see it inverted, so don't mind the weirdness of it, but see, it's a little line if you want. It doesn't even have to be a wave, okay? There you go. So, Español. What does Español mean? So it means Spanish language, Spanish. So you can write under Español, Spanish, so you know what that means in English. We're going to continue. Abuelita, I can't find any cheese. Abuelita is the third word. I'll spell it out for you. ABUELITA. Again, ABUELITA. What does that mean? That means grandma. So go ahead and write what that means in English under there. Grandma. Abuelita. Abuelita, I can't find any cheese for the ratoncito, and my tooth just fell out. Do you think he'll like some cheddar or asadero cheese? Asked Vida. Asadero is one kind of cheese in Mexico. I think he will like either cheese. Mija. So mija is a very typical word in Mexico. So it's like a short word for my daughter, but it actually means my little one, or in a very affectionate way. So she said, I think he will like either cheese, mija, answered her grandma. So here, I'm going to spell it out for you. Mija is M-I-J-A. M-I-J-A. And it's pronounced mija. That is a different sound that we don't have in English very often. Mija. So underneath, you can write in English a little note. There's no direct translation for that, but maybe it's my little one. Really good, guys. I will continue with the story. The kids at school talk about the tooth fairy, but I do not know why the ratoncito comes to our house, Vida said. Vida is the name of the girl, if you haven't noticed yet. Vida said with a confused face. I'll show you the illustration here. So you can see the cheeses at the top, right? She's thinking about what cheese should she choose, right? Well, we come from a long line of people from Mexico. That's how you say Mexico in Spanish, right? Who are friends with animals and believe in magia. Magia is magic. So let's spell it out for you. M-A-G-I-A. I'll say it again. M-A-G-I-A. Sorry, A. M-A-G-I-A. Magia. Underneath, you could put magic. That's what it means in English. We have been fine-tuned to the natural and the unseen world since we can remember, explained her abuelita. Do you remember what abuelita means? Grandma. Well, I'll be ready for tonight, said Vida. How are you guys doing? We got 2 more pages to go, and that will be it before I'll ask you to do something for the class. I'll show you the illustration. So there's a little mouse looking at the pictures, huh? Okay. Don Jorge is the name of the mouse. Had been visiting the family for generations without being seen until tonight. This idea of being seen was a little more adventurous than he was used to, so he was a little nervous. He took a step and a twirl in his never ever worn tutu and flapped his wings. Ay, Nanita, being a fairy is so much fun, he thought. So our next word in Spanish is ay, nanita. Now that's kind of slang. There's no direct translation. I believe it comes from oh mom. So I would put underneath as a translation would be oh gosh. So I'll spell it out for you. A-Y, and then the second word is, because it's broken up into 2, A-Y, and then nanita, N-A-N-I-T-A. Say it again, A-Y, N-A-N-I-T-A. Really good, guys. It's kind of silly. We'll move on to our last page. So there's the little mouse staring into the room as she's sleeping. Okay, Vida heard little footsteps like crackling fire in the distance. She opened an eye ever so slightly. The mouse dashed across the rug to eat the brie in one single bite, the brie cheese. Then she opened the other eye as she jumped up in bed. ¿Eres tú, ratoncito? She asked, very excitedly. So this is our last word. And it is in the phrase, because it's a whole phrase. ¿Eres tú, ratoncito? Is it you, ratoncito? I'm going to spell it out for you. So the first word is eres. E-R-E-S. Second word of the phrase, tú, T-U. And then ratoncito, which is the word we have learned, which means little mouse. I'll spell it out. R-A-T-O-N-C-I-T-O, and then a question mark. Eres tú, ratoncito, which means, is that you, little mouse? Eres is to be, and then tú is you, and then ratoncito, little mouse. So the English translation is that you, little mouse? This is where I stop reading, because now it is your turn. It is your turn to make a drawing and color it, or make a painting representing each word that you learned right now in Spanish. So I can't wait to see what you do. I bet it's gonna be awesome. So right now you can pause it. You can pause the video, and you should be spending 10 to 20 minutes on this. If you feel like this is super easy for you and you got all the images down, would you like to make a story? with these words, you can make your own story or your own little, like a snapshot of the story too, with your own ideas. That could be fun too. That's just an idea that I'm throwing out. So you can pause the video right now and you would have 5 minutes to finish up. So if you're hearing me talk right now, that means you're done. I can't wait to see what you did. I'm gonna ask you some questions so you can think about what you just learned. So what words were the easiest for you to say? Do you remember what they mean? The next question is, what was your favorite word? Did you have one? Did this make you more curious about the language? And would you like to share with a loved one these drawings and paintings? I bet it would be really exciting. So thank you for being in my class. I'm always happy to share my language, my native language, which is Spanish, and have other people have fun with it.